Welcome to SSPTV Community News. I'm Lisa Schugardt. In this day and age, school security is on the minds of many. Today, we take you inside the Hazleton Area School District to see what is being done to keep students and staff safe. Anyone who enters Hazleton Area High School is greeted by this machine known as Evolve. It's a weapons detector. While metal detectors require students to remove everything from their pockets, this does not. The district's chief of police, Ed Harry, and superintendent of schools, Dr. Brian Uplinger, gave us a tour. Like students and staff, I walked through holding out our station's camera bag. If something's detected, a square highlights the problem area, either on the person or on the bag. Then a scanner finds what set it off. Evolve has drastically cut time for students to enter the school. While the price tag was over $1 million for the district's 3 secondary buildings alone, officials plan to eventually have these scanners in all buildings. Now, we just walked out of an office and you're pointing to a bag that is up here on a bulletin board. What is this all about?
That's one of our trauma kits. We put blood stopper kits throughout every building. Depending on the size of the building, how many we have in the building. This building, we probably have about 60, 65. And they're in all of the offices, and they're strategically located in the hallways, around classrooms, so that no one, I think the farthest anybody's from a trauma kit is maybe 50, 60 feet.
Now, as we're walking, I see something around your neck that is flashing every now and then. Tell us about that, and is it something that is only worn by security?
It's an emergency radio. We purchased 1,500. They were purchased through a grant, and they've been issued to every staff member in the district. So when I say every staff member, it's not just teachers. It's teachers, paras, cafeteria workers, security, SPOs. If you're an employee of the district, you're issued one of these. If anything happens, there's an emergency, you don't even have to look. You can simply push this button on the front and start talking. Everybody's going to hear it.
Well, right now we are in Ed Harry, the chief of police for the Hazleton Area School District, in his office, and on the wall are 4 monitors that literally show every school in the Hazleton Area School District. So, Chief, tell us about this. What are we looking at right here?
We have over 900 cameras in the district. These 4 monitors go through every building, interior and exterior cameras, and basically cycle through each page. The main reason I use that is to simply so I know if there's a camera that's not working. Every security office in each building has a monitor like that where they can look at all of their cameras. You can also access these cameras on the computer. I can access them at home.
Another security system feature involves sensors to help detect problems in certain areas.
Halo is a sensor that we have in all 3 high schools, the 3 secondary schools. They're in every lavatory, every locker room, and they detect, everybody calls them a vape detector. They do detect vapes. However, you can see from the screen, I can log into each individual sensor. Okay, this one's the boys' lobby lab, and you can see everything that this will detect.
While talking to the chief, one of those sensors actually went off.
I just got an alert, the boys' locker room, and it's sensor number 2, I got a masking alert. Okay, that means somebody's spraying something in there.
Oh.
Now, that can be 2 things.
Hairspray?
Oh, yes. Hairspray, the Axe, everybody uses this Axe cologne, or it can be somebody intentionally spraying something to try to cover up. They're about to use a vape.
District officials also have a tool to make sure everyone inside each school building actually belongs there.
We were running into a lot of issues where we were finding people in the building that didn't belong there. Okay, when you're standing, I'll use the high school for an example just because of the sheer volume. You're standing there in the morning and in 30 minutes you have 1,800 kids walking in there. Okay, there's no way, but we don't know if they're students or not. Okay, so people are coming in, you know it's a kid, but we don't know, are they a student or are they not a student? What the ID cards are going to do, not only do you have to wear the ID card, but once we get them all issued, there are going to be what we call kiosks set up. So as a student comes in, there's an RFID chip in their card. There's also a barcode on it, but the RFID chip Each kiosk has two sensors, one on each side. Somebody will be watching a computer screen, a monitor. When the student comes in, they're going to tap their ID card on the sensor. Their picture will come up, so the person monitoring can look at them and say, yeah, that's you. Okay, so if I give you my ID card, hey, go in, that picture isn't going to match. It's also going to tell the person using the monitor if they belong in that building. Okay, this syncs with Skyward, which is our student software. It syncs every night at midnight. So if, say, you're suspended or if you withdraw, you're pulled out of the district. Now it's put into Skyward, you're no longer a student. Okay, that syncs at midnight. So if you come in the next day and try to use your card, it's going to tell you you don't belong there. It's also going to take attendance.
And while keys used to be the way to make sure buildings and classrooms were locked, this year the district has advanced to a new system similar to what's used in hotels.
All doors have been locked all the time, but they were keyed. You had to use a metal key. Okay, with this system, everything's done by card, like a hotel room. Okay, you go into a hotel room, no hotels use metal keys anymore. Everything's card access. Right. Okay, so we can control who has access to every door just by this system. We don't have to make keys anymore. We're not collecting keys if a key gets lost. The way it worked in the past, prior to this system, if a master key for a building got lost, what we would then need to do is, because there's a master key out there, is take every core for every lock, replace the cores, and cut all new keys for that core. So you're talking tens of thousands of dollars. So if somebody has a master key for Maple Manor, okay, they lose that key, I just come in here, I take it out of the system.
While every precaution is taken to help keep students and staff safe, there is another safety measure on the outside of each building in case an emergency should occur.
So now you have first responders outside the building and there's somebody waving for help in the window. Okay, they're not guessing where that is. Okay, they know that's room 210, 204, whatever it happens to be. The exterior, the doors are numbered, they're lettered from A to whatever, depending on the doors. That's done clockwise. And again, so you're not trying to describe, okay, you need to go to the door on the east side, it's the third door. It's just, you're simply giving a letter designation. If we have to direct, and we've done this already, we have to direct an ambulance to come to the building, go to door H, go to door F. You're not trying to describe, here's where you need to go.
Coming up, more on school security, this time with the district superintendent of schools. Plus, we'll tell you where you can find some haunted tours this Halloween season. Stay tuned. Another facet of school security involves what students wear. This year, the Hazleton Area School District banned hoodies inside of school buildings.
I'm sure everybody has seen, whether it's on the news, whether it's on the internet, because there's cameras everywhere, so you're always seeing video of crimes being committed, okay? What do you see in every one of these videos? They're wearing hoodies. There's a reason they wear hoodies. Okay, because you can't identify them. We spent the last 2 years trying to get kids to just take your hood down. And we've told kids time and time again, guys, if you don't keep your hood down, you're going to give us no choice but to ban them completely. And here's where we are.
So now, the security staff itself, tell us about your staff. How large is that? What does that entail? Do they carry weapons? What's the story with your staff?
I have 9 police officers, and I have approximately 30 security officers. Security officers are trained and equipped with handcuffs and OC spray. Some are Act 235 certified, and they do carry firearms. Obviously, every police officer is equipped just like any municipal police officer. We just applied for a grant that we're 100% certain we'll be getting, but we'll be able to add 6 additional police officers, and that will give us we'll go back to having a school police officer in each building during the whole school day.
How do you rate yourself or compare yourself to other school districts? Are you doing everything feasible that you could do to protect the kids and the staff?
Based on the number of calls that we get from other school districts asking us what we're doing and how we're doing it and point me in the right direction for vendors. We're way ahead of everybody.
The biggest problem, though, for any security is the cost, right?
You have to try to balance what you want and or need for security, and obviously what the cost is. The biggest problem that we have is that we're so big. We have 14 buildings. We cover 256 square miles. I talked to the heads of security in other districts, and well, how many students do you have? Well, we have 400. We have 500. And they look at me and go, "You have how many?" 13,000. So everything we do is multiplied exponentially by the size of our district. So we can't do anything cheaply.
Superintendent of Schools Dr. Brian Uplinger also realizes the importance of security, including the newly installed weapon detectors at the 3 high schools. Has there been a major improvement now thanks to those new machines?
I say yes, and the reason why, the students come in a lot faster. It's a lot more accurate. The system can detect anywhere on that student's body where something may be hidden, or you would call attention to something that might be in their sock or in their hood before they take their jacket off, or in their bag, what have you. It even hits on some of the computers that the students are bringing back and forth that we provide. So that's good. We want to make sure that nothing are in those bags that we've provided to the students. So if a computer bag is hit on, we put it through the X-ray machine to make sure there's nothing else, no other contraband that came into the schools.
So you're trying to be proactive with all of this stuff. You don't want to be reactive.
No, the last thing we want to do as an educational institution is be reactive.
I also had the chance to talk with Dr. Anthony Constant, principal of Hazleton Area High School. Security is an issue that is always on his mind as well.
I think the primary concern always deals with what the parents are thinking when their child leaves the house and ends up going into the school building. And the unfortunate part is, if you had asked me this question years ago, the primary concern of a parent would have been, what is my child learning in school? That's the most important issue facing me as a parent. Now it is my child going to be safe in the school building? And that's an unfortunate truth. Every principal must face this in this day and age. It is our job. It's my job as principal. It's the job of the security force here in the school to make sure students feel comfortable walking in and out of the building, walking from class to class, and feeling secure in the knowledge that they are safe in this school building.
What would you say to parents, students that see this interview that are concerned about safety in the school district?
I feel safer, and I tell parents that their children are safer in our buildings than they are anywhere out on the street. Okay, you can't learn if you don't feel safe. Okay, our goal is to make kids feel safe in school, because if they're worried when they're sitting in a classroom that this is going to happen or they're not going to learn anything. Okay, they need to be able to concentrate on their education. And if you talk to these kids, and they feel safe in our schools, and that's what we want. We want them to feel safe when they walk in the door. Our goal is very, very simple. When you look at it, we want everybody to go home in the same condition that they got here. It's that simple. That's our main function.
Special thanks to the Hazleton Area School District for allowing us to get a close-up look of security in the district. 'Tis the season fast approaching for haunted tours and all of that kind of stuff. And guess what? The Schuylkill County Historical Society has just what you're looking for. Haunted history tours in Pottsville, starting on October 8th. Here to tell us all about it, the 4 different nights that this will be happening, is Stephen Young. He's the Assistant Executive Director at the Schuylkill County Historical Society. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us. This must be pretty popular, I would think. Especially for this time of the year.
In previous years, it became so popular, we were forced to include more and more dates, more and more openings. These tours sell out really fast. And you almost feel bad when someone calls up and they want a specific date, and unfortunately it's closed. But yeah, it is extremely popular, and we get a lot of people from all over the area who want to take part in this.
Now you're having these tours October 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. So what is the tour of?
Well, there's actually two tours in two different locations in Pottsville. The one tour that's at 5:45, it's a little earlier, and it's still a little light out because it's up at the Charles Baber Cemetery. And the reason why they have it a little bit earlier because the ground up there is a little bit uneasy. You want to make sure that everybody stays safe. And the other tour is the one that I'm personally involved in. The one that I give is the Gallows Tour, and that's almost a 1 mile walk of the downtown Pottsville area. It starts at the Historical Society and wraps around downtown Pottsville and ends up at the Schuylkill County Prison. So yeah, it's a little bit of a walk, but it's well worth it.
So now you don't want to give away everything, but tell us a little bit about what we'd see if we're on this walk with you.
Well, if you're on the walk with me, what we'll do is we go through downtown Pottsville, and I give some of the stories that we have researched, and actually all of them that we have researched are all true. They all did happen. And people are amazed. They had no idea that a lot of this stuff ever happened in Pottsville, but they may be in shops they have visited perhaps their whole life, and they never knew that maybe some of those shops were haunted. And these reports actually come from the owners themselves. These are not stories that we make up. These are not stories we find on the internet. These are stories that we actually get sometimes from the owners of the shops themselves. And people are quite amazed at some of the information that they're going to get.
Wow, sounds intriguing. I'm sure a lot of people will be signing up, but they don't want to be disappointed, so they need to give you guys a call, right? At 570-622-7540. Is that the number?
That's correct.
The cost is $12 for the tour. Members are $10, and children ages 6 to 13 are $7. So you want to call so that you're not disappointed in that. But you have two other events coming up as well, so tell us what they are.
On October 12th, we have a program here at the Historical Society. It's the Schuylkill County's Quilters Guild. And what they're going to be talking about, I met personally with both of these ladies. They're very charming ladies. And what they're going to be talking about is the quilts that they make, how they make them, what's all involved in making a quilt. And more importantly, what they're going to be talking about is the history and the meaning behind some of the quilts. Like, for example, we have a quilt here at the Historical Society that is from the Civil War era. And they knew how to interpret each individual little square and what each individual square means, which I was unaware that any of them had any meaning. And they can tell you how to properly store the quilt so they last pretty much forever. But that's actually going to be kind of quite exciting. The other program is we team up with T102 here in Pottsville, and we have a monthly book club that we have the program here at the Historical Society that starts at 6:30 as well. The person that the book they're going to be talking about is a Minersville Mansion, which actually goes hand in hand with the time, because a Minersville Mansion is about the book is about a haunted mansion, and that book was written by Jeff Dangler. Jeff Dangler was also instrumental in doing a lot of ghost hunting here in the Historical Society. So that's going to be another exciting night just to see what people thought of the book, and that's about it. That's what we have going on for the month of October. It's kind of jam-packed this month.
Stephen, thanks so much for talking with us. We'll catch up with you again soon.
All right. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
have with me Nicodemus. Nicodemus is approximately 6 to 8 months old. Just like everyone we have up for adoption, Nicodemus here is already neutered, microchipped, vaccinated for rabies and distemper, and has been tested for heartworm and Lyme disease and come up negative for both. Because of his age, Nicodemus is very playful and affectionate, but we're not sure what he's like with other dogs. If you have a dog of your own, we would have to do a meet and greet as always to make sure they're going to get along. While hard to tell what breed he is exactly, we think he may have some Boston Terrier and some Schipperke in him. As you can see, he has loads of energy and loves to play, so we recommend somebody with plenty of playtime. That's it for this week's dog. Let's have a look at our cat. And here I have with me Julius. Julius is an approximately 6-month-old domestic shorthair who, like all of the other animals up for adoption, is neutered, microchipped, current on his rabies and distemper shots, and he's been tested for feline leukemia and FIV and has come up negative for both. As you can see, he's very affectionate and loves to be held. Because of his youthfulness, he's also very playful and seems to really enjoy toy mice. As you can see, Julius is very handleable and affectionate, so we think he'd do fine in a home with his children present. That's it for this week's pets. If anyone at home is interested in Nicodemus, Julius here, or any of the other animals we have up for adoption, please email us for an adoption application at hazas@ptd.net.
Adopt Me is brought to you by Workforce Resources Staffing in West Hazleton. For more information, call 570-454-8810 or go to workforceresourcesstaffing.com.
Thanks for watching SSPTV Community News, brought to you in part by Samsung Productions on the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Watch us online at ssptv.com and like us on Facebook and Twitter for more news and information.